Rotarian, we've got a very special meeting today, and many guests we'll introduce here in a minute. And courtesy of Chip Person, we're all going to study the Constitution today, and as soon as Rotary's over, we're going to Washington, D.C. Randy Elliott has our invocation and pledge.
Good morning, everyone. Please join with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
My favorite Rotary moment is more of a series of moments in that when I joined Rotary, one of the things I signed up to do every year was ring the bell for Salvation Army, and it's become kind of a family tradition that Tiff looks forward to, and we look forward to it every year, so we really enjoy it.
Thank you, Randy. Tony has our Sergeant at Arms.
Good morning, everyone. We have a number of guests with us and a number of visiting Rotarians this morning, so that's good. We'll start with the Rotarians. We have Max Seifert from Crescent. Welcome. And Carrie Purnell from Greensboro. Neil Wilcox from Summit. Steve Potter from Greensboro. Bob Glenn from Guilford. And Mike Conrad has his lovely wife, Mary Ann. Cheryl has a guest, James Von Earden.
Stand up, James.
James came to me through Chris Justice. He worked for Chris, and Chris posted something on the listserv. Says anybody need a wonderful person to assist in the office. James is going into officers training school in April. Yay. So we welcome you to Rotary.
Randy Elliott has his beautiful daughter, Annie.
She's on fall break, so she got to start by getting up at 5:30.
And Danny has a repeat guest, Howard Stickers.
Hi, Howard. Everybody remember him? He'll see a lot of it.
Hey, Tony, we have one other visitor, John Redmond from Greensboro.
Okay, great.
All right, we have our special guest. We have Cookie Billings and her husband, Ray. From Troy, who is Larry Lassiter and his wife, Dolores. And Larry will be district governor in 15 and 16. Let's see, announcements. Dr. Walt, football pool.
Oh, yeah. Big week this week, Texas OU. Where I come from, that's kind of a big deal. Every year they try and raise the record for the number of arrests downtown. It's really fun. And it could be Mac Brown's last football game. lost Oklahoma 4 times, and if you lose again, that might be it. We'll see. Don't let it break my heart. Jonathan Smith, are you here?
Yes, yes.
Did you come in before Robbie?
Same time.
I'll tell you what, the only man that picked Wake Forest last week. My hero. The only one. Unfortunately, that was, you know, that one was the one that won the pool. We had 5 tied at 16 correct. Justice, Pegram, Nussbaum, Ross Geller, and Middleton. Mid, where are you? Not here?
Beating Davis.
Really? Well, that's okay. No, he didn't win. He didn't pick one game. He left it blank. So I don't know. They always say pick C if you don't know. You know. He didn't figure it out though. At any rate, out of all those guys, all of them got the tiebreaker wrong. Every single one. Okay? But Justice nailed the total of 58. Where are you? That's it for second place. Chip Person, where are you?
Right here.
18 correct.
What? Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, even a stockbroker get one right sometimes.
2 special prizes. One donated by Lewis Storage. This is an extra large t-shirt.
Wonderful. I got 2 XL.
Also,
Wonderful. Love that.
one guy, this guy's thinking Rotary all the time. Rob Midget donated the Rotary Club Murder Mystery.
Wow.
That's a good read.
I'm not joking, there actually is a book. Okay, so in your spare time,
Thank you.
congratulations.
When I'm wearing my
When I get done,
jacket.
I'll pass it around the club. I'll take one for you. How about that?
Now, there is one other award, of course, we have to pass out. Steve Brandon, what is the first part of the 4-way test?
Let's see.
You really let me down here.
Are you really asking?
Yes, I really.
Is it the truth?
Right, okay. Did anybody last week hear Steve's happy dollar? Keep winning, I'll split it.
Yeah.
What did he say he was gonna do? Lose weight. Buddy, this is how much weight you're gonna lose if you keep picking the way you're picking.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Walt.
Yeah, thank you, Walt. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Chris, great job on second place. Just remember, if you're not first,
You're last.
Speaking of which, Chris.
Thank you.
There you go.
let's see. Emily, fundraiser.
It used to be mine too.
Hopefully you all are out there selling and spreading the word. Yeah, I need to make more of those, but I have plenty of posters. So, please take some more posters, put them up. I think we sent you that as a PDF. You can certainly print them out. We're going to start with the volunteer list really soon, probably create some and put them up on Google Docs, but we'll have them to pass out. So, as in other years, we'll need setup volunteers, we'll need volunteers during the event, tear down volunteers. We need to start going and visiting Rotary clubs now, so we'll get people to sign up so you can go promote the event there. In terms of promotion, we'd love to know if anyone here has any connection at a radio station, because we think we can do some really fun promotion there and do some ticket giveaways and again promote.
Anybody have a radio station connection?
Yeah.
Possibly?
Rock 92 WKZL, but they've just completely changed their management structure.
We have a year.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do my best, but
Okay,
I don't know what I
I'm
can
gonna
do.
reach out to Dick on it.
that would be great.
So we'll get some radio station sponsorships, and we still think, truck dealer would be pretty cool. Anyone know Green Ford, anybody there?
Looking for a truck dealer, put a couple of trucks out front. It's a great opportunity for them to have visibility there. We give them some tickets. They can bring some of their staff, similar to what we did with Bob Dunn last year out in front of the terrace. Anybody have a relationship with one of the truck dealers possibly?
I do, so I'll take
Okay. Would you like funding for the next 400 structures?
Stay away from any kind of company, but I'll try.
Sarah, Mr. Beth, you want to say anything about getting out there and selling tickets?
I hope everyone is, I hope everyone's out promoting it. I think a good thing about this concert is it really spans all of the age brackets. To the youngest, we're going to start getting Page High School involved, and hopefully we will let them do a raffle, sell raffle tickets, and so they will have an opportunity to buy raffle tickets, and we'll give away a set of tickets at the Page Grim Slate game, so which is just a few weeks before the concert. So out there selling, if there's anything that we can do to help, knocking on doors. Hopefully they're selling pretty easy. How are they selling? Ticket packages, the concert tickets.
Sold all mine. All right, good now.
Let us know if we can help for sure.
Yeah, so again, each of you got 3. If you're like Randy Elliott, you're gonna come and say, all right, if I have to have 3, why not 4? Because 3 is an odd number, so, again, we have more, so when you want that 4th one, because you have 2 couples going, come and see me, we'll set you up for that.
And just for clarity, because there were some questions last week, just on the event itself. It's Saturday, November the 23rd. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. It is Tyler Farr, who's the opening act. Then it's Colt Ford. Then it's Georgia, Florida Line. And they'll come on. We're going to end our event about 7:30, but probably Florida Georgia Line won't go on till 9 o'clock or so. So we figure people are going to mingle and stick around. It may be 8 o'clock before everybody clears the terrace. But please, as in every year, and this club always steps up, it takes everybody. Please don't think that, oh, the fundraising committee is doing this. We have to sell our tickets. We've got to sell more raffle tickets than what she's given you. Please do that and start now. It's a lot easier if you start now. The event, we talked to Scott Johnson last night. They've already sold over 12,000 seats for the event. They're opening it up to about 15,000, but they're going to be rafter seats. They're going to be up in the upper arena. So we're going to have the best seats in the house. So it's an easy sell for people that are looking for it. But the trick is to get it out to that demographic of people that are looking for tickets. So please use your Facebook. Take 5 minutes on an afternoon and send it out to your everybody in your email book, and sell a couple extra tickets. And we do all that, and we're going to have a really successful fundraiser this year, and we need to. Last year was not so great, and so we need to have a very good fundraiser this year. Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. Kevin, birthdays, anniversaries.
Here we go. We've got for birthdays is Tony. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you doing? 10/8 is your birthday. We've got Mike Crick on the 12th. For anniversaries, Todd and Darlene. How many years is that?
26.
Right. We also have is Jill and Mark Reynolds on the 10th. Didn't know if your son was here. That's it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, wait, hold on. Was Tony's today?
No,
Okay.
The 8th, okay.
You want to
Couldn't
sing
hear.
anyway?
Dang, I wanted to, but. Oh, well.
All right. Buster,
Happy dollars!
Men on demand. Wait.
Can I just say one thing
got one.
about the project first?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Thank you, everybody that's done work with projects with Rebuild, or if you signed up. Tomorrow is going to be the day. We'll have it done. It's going to be wrapped up. What is it about once you hit your thumb with a hammer? It seems like it's got to get hit again and again. Anybody's felt that magnet pull? But you guys blasted through. I've never done any roofing to date until last weekend, and it's a lot easier than it looked. But everybody did great. Anybody that can pitch in and help tomorrow, great. But we'll get it covered, and they'll probably assign us to a few other tasks that may be off the site to somewhere else because there's 4 projects. What time do you start tomorrow? 8:30. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And by the way, we need lots of happy dollars. I understand Dan Quinn blew out his shoe on the roof last weekend. Oh, yeah. He needs some new shoes.
It's okay.
All right.
It's better than my back.
Okay, Buster.
Danny, Grandpappy told me that when you're hammering and you miss the nail and you hit the wood and it makes that little mark, he said that's called a cat's ass. And I said, well, what do you call it when you miss and hit your thumb? He said, I call that a dumbass.
Hopefully, I can get a loan for $1. I had a $5 and I bought 3 tickets, but Chip, you might want to check that Rotary murder mystery. There might be $3 anyway, I might have a lead on a radio station. Several years now, 2010, 2009 it started, I got a call on my cell phone, and somebody was asking for Waleed. I said, sorry, I think you got the wrong number. Oh, okay, he hung up. Then I got a call again. Hey, is Waleed there? No, Waleed's not here. He went out. Hang up. Susan gets a call. Her number's one number off, asking for Waleed on her cell phone. We're driving in the car together. Well, we laugh about it, and no lie, over the last few years, I periodically get calls for Waleed. And I even have him in I have Waleed's friends in my, so whenever I get a call for Waleed, I say, hello? No, Waleed's not here. And, I always give him some line, which is really bad, I know. I've stopped doing it. But one day, we had a guy call and said, Waleed, I can't find your house, man. Where do I go? And I said, well, take a right, and then take 2 lefts, and it's right there on the left. Oh, okay. And he hung up. I know where he was. One of his friends' name is C4. That's his code name.
That's great.
That's great. Susan's very nervous about this NSA stuff and all this stuff. But anyway, yesterday I'm sitting at my desk.
Should I pause this?
Yeah, pause it. I'm sitting at my desk in the office, and my cell phone rings, and I look at it and don't recognize it. Hello, may I speak to Mr. Waleed Hannon, please? I said, no, you got. I said, who? Waleed Hannon. Hannon. What's this? How do you spell that? Hanhan. I said, no, there's no one here by that name. So I thought, Waleed Hannon. Now I got a lead. Look, I Google him. Waleed Hannon is a radio personality at 102 Jams. I'm not calling him, but you can tell him it's C4.
Good morning, everybody. I thought I would explain these. Wilder, as you know, has taken a bunch of AP classes. We're studying AP history. He's a slow reader, and so I've been helping him with history and English, which I'm good at. I'm not much good at physics or calculus, but he's got A's and O's. So I'm helping out with U.S. history, and I'm like, well, Wilder, it's what has been. All you have to do is read it and think about it. If you understand why it happened, you'll have it, no problem. So we've been through all the reasons. We're building up to the Revolutionary War. We're into the Revolutionary War. We're getting just past Revolutionary War. And I start looking for the Constitution in there because I tend to think in those kind of terms. And Wilder's AP history book that is about this thick, and it weighs 14 pounds, or something close to it. I didn't actually weigh it. It's true. It starts with the First Amendment. But it never says what the First Amendment is. It never says the right to free speech, okay? It doesn't have a Second or Third Amendment. It does not have a Fourth Amendment. It starts with the Fifth Amendment, which is 90 pages past before the Constitution is mentioned in this book. And that upset me, okay? No Second, Third, or Fourth Amendments listed at all in any way, shape, or form. This is one of the new core curriculum books, and Guilford County is the only one in the state of North Carolina that's using it. So I called the teacher. I told him I was going to get them some copies of the Constitution. I found this online, and I found out I could buy 1,000 of them for a very small number. And y'all have just received about 75 of them this morning. I do want to say this though, and you can call it political if you want to. I saw something I thought was wrong, and I'm trying to do something about it. But if you take the time to read this, you're going to know a lot more about the United States and how it operates today. and maybe why some of the stuff that's going on is going on. But everybody here ought to read it.
Did you get enough for the Senate and the House?
Damn right, I did, but I don't think we'll accept them.
First of all, I know it always happens when I make this type of announcement. I know that there's absolutely no way I could be that old, but I just found out I'm going to be a grandfather for the first time.
All right.
I want to make a pitch for the foundation banquet. We always have great representation from this club. It's going to be November the 7th. It's a Thursday, and it's going to be at the High Point Country Club. We've got a great speaker. A Peace Scholar is going to be our speaker, so I'm hoping that we will have our traditional at least 10 to 20 that come from our club. Now, if anybody can get us a funeral car, I think y'all remember back in the old days we used to go, Mike Moy used to take us over in the funeral car, and we would pack our wine, and we'd have little cocktails while we were on our way home. If anybody can help us with transportation, would really be helpful. So, but please do sign up. You can go online, the database for Rotary, our district, 7690, and you can sign up for the event.
Thank you, Mike.
First, I need change. As you just heard, was my birthday this week. As you know, we're also hosting the exchange student merit. Her birthday was the same day. To have some fun with her, show her the country, we took her for a long weekend to the beach last weekend. The interesting story was very interested in surfing. So the first morning we went out to see the sunrise, and we saw a couple of guys fishing. So we started talking with these guys, waiting for the sun to get up. And we asked, what are you looking for? He said, oh, we're catching shark. So that was the end of all surfing. But the interesting part, third day we went again, looked for the sunrise, and I went for a run with her together. So we ran on the beach. Somewhere halfway down was a guy fishing, a shark like this in his hands. So she was vindicated.
Wow.
I'll make it quick. Team Gate City won the COV golf tournament last weekend. And I was telling my sister what a great day to visit because the governor's coming.
You're going to tell us what you were like when you were little.
Just smaller.
Here you go, Buster. Thank
Whoa,
you.
Whoa, a little too close there. Sorry, hold on, that's my fault.
Just a little caveat on where's Kelly go. This is our only fundraiser. $300-400 is the minimum. Husband and wife, there's two. One friend. It's not that hard. I know a lot of people in here are not salesmen. They go, hey, we're not salesmen. We don't know how to do all this stuff. I'll tell you what my dad told me, who's been dead since I was 23. But I was around 16 or 17 years old, and I know some of you have heard this story before, but it's good for this and it's good for life. And he's sitting on the couch and he's got the paper. And I'm near the phone, used to be on the wall. You know, it's not anymore, but it used to be on the wall. And I'm walking back and forth. And my dad was one of these people that didn't take lightly to messing around. So I'm pacing, and that newspaper comes down. And he goes, son, what are you doing? I said, well, yeah, I'm trying to get ready for this phone call. He said, you gonna call a girl? I said, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, let me tell you something, son. He said, there's only two things that woman's gonna say to you, yes or no, and either one of them's gonna kill you, so make the damn phone call.
About 1,650 quarts last weekend, and we still have a little bit left over. So if you want to go by Youth for Christ headquarters out there, Cotton Street, we're still voting.
Last thing, Sharon, just got back from St. George, Utah this weekend. Former Gate City Rotarian Tim Alberts and I were out there. We did I finally broke a 4-hour marathon. 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 26 seconds. And I was thinking thinking about this. Bobby is almost 10 years older than me. It doesn't look that way, but he is an hour ahead of that. So
I know
anyway,
where the shortcuts are.
Right, Steve, and one more.
I'll need some change too after
Yeah.
As you know, I want to have everybody keep Max Kern and my son Teddy, who is a sophomore at School of the Arts in film this year, and 15 students from High Point University are going on his mission trip to Guatemala to help out the villagers to redo their homes and so forth. And we thought it was going to be during spring break, so Teddy had to go through hoops to get every professor and all the hierarchy of the film school to let him have off school next week. And he had some struggles, and all of a sudden the school's behind it, so that was really good. But Teddy called me a little over a week ago, and he said, "Dad, there's some good news and bad news," and there was nervousness in his voice. I thought, oh no, what's happened? Something happened to him, his girlfriend or whatever. And he was nervous as can be. Well, it turns out that the head of the editing of the school said she'd like to help out with the editing and help this documentary that he's going to do for the trip. But he needed a little equipment. So the equipment, so far I've invested about $5,500 to get him to fly out of here on Saturday morning. But anyway, it's a good trip for everybody. He's excited, Max is excited, and everybody keep their thoughts and prayers with the whole crew going to go to Guatemala.
When are they leaving?
Saturday morning.
And Teddy's gonna come later in the year and actually show us some of the video.
As long as he does a good job.
All right, real quick.
Well, I have had the privilege of having as a partner friend and a next door neighbor in our office, Ken Keller, our assistant district governor. And I thought it's fitting, since I get to bug him and interrupt his thoughts and everything every day for the last 20 years, that he found the furthest spot from me just about in our meeting room. So it's good to have you.
All right, one, real quick.
Real quick. My daughter Shannon's a freshman at UNC Pembroke, and it's fall break, and she got home last night and is doing well.
All right.
One thing before we introduce the district governor. 100%.
All right.
It can be done. It's not hard. All right, without further ado, welcome our district governor, Cookie Billings, our speaker today. This is a great annual event. We've got a great message, I'm sure. You want to start with Ken on him? Okay.
He can't yell and talk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure most of you know Cookie already. If you don't know her as a civil servant or as a community volunteer, you surely know her in connection with Rotary. As a civil servant in 1988, after 4 years as an internal auditor with the Guilford County School, she joined the town of Jamestown as finance director. She became assistant manager in 2003, and town manager in 2006. She retired in 2010. Of course, if you do the math, you know there's a 3-year lead in to district governor, and that's why she is where she is now. As a community volunteer, she founded a Girl Scout troop and served as its troop leader for 13 years. Over half the girls in the troop earned the Gold Award, which is the highest award for girls. She served in many capacities with the Girl Scouts at the Triad Council, eventually presiding as president of the board of directors for 6 years. She was recognized by the Greensboro United Way in 1996 as a community hero and was honored with the privilege of being an Olympic torchbearer in Greensboro. In connection with Rotary, she's a charter member of the Greensboro Airport Club. She was president 1999 to 2000 and named Rotarian of the Year in 2007. For the district, she served on the Group Study Exchange Committee as a volunteer and then as the chair. She chaired the 2007 district conference. She was an assistant district governor in Greensboro for 3 years. And that was at a time when the AG handled 8 clubs instead of 4. She has received several recognitions for her Rotary service, including RI 4 Avenues of Service citation for individual Rotarians. Please stand and join me in welcoming our District Governor.
Y'all sit down. You take so much time talking. It's like, I've already told Bobby I needed about 45 minutes. So. But thank you, Ken, for the introduction, and President Bobby for the absolutely wonderful, warm welcome to the club this morning. Always love to come. It's terrific. Again, thank District Governor nominee Larry Lasser and his wife Dolores for coming this morning. I'm a little embarrassed to have Larry sitting here. He's heard my speech about 35 times, and he could really give it. And I even think maybe he's thinking I'm going to let him do that one day, but I like to talk too much. Never going to happen, Larry. I got it. And I want to, again, apologize to him. I introduced his president for Gate City Club to him some time ago, and again, I'm sorry that Danny is going to be that year. It's all I could do. I want to thank the members here. There's so many that are involved in our district leadership in many different capacities. Obviously, greetings to past District Governor Mike Conrad and Mary Ann. I was so happy to see my Disney buddy here this morning. He has been my best source of advice for being district governor. A lot of good tips, but the best one is keep laughing, and I think that's I think he's a good model for that. So I appreciate that. He's serving as our District Rotary Foundation Committee Chair, and he is a wonderful partner in this capacity, and I'm very grateful for his willingness to do that. I want to thank Tony Hulemeyer. He's been wonderful with our youth exchange. He's been our German interpreter, and obviously beach tour and all that kind of stuff, but he's done a marvelous job with the youth exchange for us. And Jim Kennedy has worked on our scholarship program with Mike this year. Again, so many of you have been involved in many capacities at the district level. Well, I also want to give greetings to my baby brother, Danny. You know that I handpicked the club I wanted Danny to join. After months of begging the club to let me bring him, I warned Danny, do not discuss controversial topics, don't be teasing anybody. So he was on his best behavior on that first visit when I brought him to the club. And the very first thing that happened on that first visit was 2 members, and I don't remember who they were, got up and publicly apologized for the horrible teasing and terrible time they'd given the club last week. So I told Danny, forget it, be yourself, it's okay, you have found your Rotary home. So I am thrilled that Danny has in the lineup to be president of Gate City. Revenge is sweet. He's always told me that I had a volunteer problem. So now, in fact, he's written me a list. So obviously he's not followed this, but he said I needed some volunteer avoidance help. He said you should avoid sitting at a table with any organization's board of directors. Never do that. Avoid eye contact with the club president. Do not respond to junk mail. Just say they club email is junk. I didn't get it. Never saw it. Of course, never raise your hand. Never put your name on a list. That will come back to haunt you. And the best advice he gave me was stay away from Mike Conrad. I think he's after you. But Danny is a volunteer too, and he really will go that extra mile for you. For example,
is this a speech?
Hypothetically, you hear a noise in your house late at night and you're there by yourself. You could call Danny and he would come to your house and look under every bed and in every closet to assure you that your house was safe. And then he would say again, let me show you how to use this security system that I installed for you. And hypothetically, if you found a big dead bird on the table on your back deck, he would come over, hypothetically, he would come over and have dead bird removal at your house. And if you were worried then about why was there a dead bird on your deck, he would say, to make you feel better, clearly this was a suicide, no foul play at all. Okay, I won't pick on you but a couple more times. District conference this year, Asheville, Grove Park Inn. I know we love Grove Park Inn. We had such fun at Mike's conference. May 2nd through 4th, another 2-night event. We do a great deal of planning for the conference, great balance of inspiration, motivation, and certainly fun and fellowship. So I've been busy working on interesting speakers. We'll have a lot of inspiring presentations about Rotary in our district and around the world. And Saturday afternoon, you know, is usually our event time. I will let you know that for the golfers in the group, we got a $65 rate at the Grove Park Inn for golf, which we think is great. We also have lined up an Asheville brewery tour for the afternoon, as well as a zip line adventure. But we have had some legal advice that says we should not allow people to do both those on the same afternoon. So let me thank Bobby. He has done a monster job of preparing to lead the Gate City Club. He's jumped through all the hoops and turned in all the paperwork. And for those of you that have been president of a club before, you know your job does not start July 1 when you walk in the door. It's months of planning and training ahead of time. So I want you to support Bobby. His goals this year are fantastic, and I just love he's doing a great job here. He also continues to assist, so that's why I said good things about him, because he's helping me with district conference as well. So that was your good things, I said. Our theme this year is Engage Rotary, Change Lives. And there's a service project that I have a very personal interest in because, as with most things that we become to have passionate about, it's because it's touched our lives in some way. So this is something Danny and I both share in common, a personal story connected to the need for people to register to be organ donors. Our oldest brother's son, my nephew Duncan, was born with cystic fibrosis, and simply put, this is a disease that destroys the lungs. Duncan received the best of medical care, the best of love and support from our very large family. But after watching Duncan's quality of life simply fade away over the years, the last chance for his survival became to go on the transplant list. And you go on the transplant list and wait. And you wait because there are not enough people who are willing to sign up to give that gift of life. Currently, there are over 115,000 men, women, and children in the United States waiting for a transplant. And time simply runs out for many people. 2 years ago in June, Duncan was admitted to the Chapel Hill Hospital for what we feared was his very last emergency. He was thin, weak, and could simply get no air into his body. Our brother David spent the night with me, and as David and I sat alone at the breakfast table the next morning, June 22nd, 2011, he stared at me with a terrible look, and he said, "Cook, I don't think he's going to make it. We need that transplant." It was devastating to hear it from his mouth, and it was the very first time I had heard David admit out loud the imminent crisis. Dave drove on to Chapel Hill that morning, and our entire family was on emergency alert. And that very same day, that afternoon, I got a call from Dave, and he said, "Cook, they found a match. Duncan goes in for double lung transplant this afternoon." Our close friends and family joined us in prayer, and over the next days and weeks, we witnessed an absolute miracle. Duncan was back. And my brother Dave said, "It's like my son was born again." Now, 2 years later, Duncan is traveling, preparing to go back to work, and he is an avid volunteer for the organization Donate Life. He is the living, breathing example of why we need more people to simply register to be an organ donor. I'll leave some information today with Gate City and hope that you'll be willing to campaign to recruit people to register as an organ donor and raise awareness of this way to pay it forward in life. I believe this is a small project, but an excellent fit for engaged Rotary change lives. Rotary International is also stressing ways in which we can all engage Rotary, change lives. One of the lead initiatives this year is membership growth. One problem Gate City does not have, I know. Our district membership committee has made up a slogan, one member per member. And Bobby's goals this year, he has plans for the continued success from membership growth in Gate City. Now, I have a Rotary moment that I want to share, but Randy did it so quickly, and it always takes me longer to share a Rotary moment. But this is one about membership. So I want to tell my Rotary moment is 17 years long. So I'm going to try to condense it just a little bit for the morning. But my Rotary moment is my husband, Ray Piper. When I first started in Rotary 17 years ago, he was a little bit less than supportive over what I was doing. He liked the idea that I was going to work and I had a paycheck. That made really good sense to him. But when I went off to volunteer, he was wondering, there's no pay with that. And that was one of the things he would say, they're not paying you for this. I said, yes, but I'm having a great time. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And then, of course, you know that I belong to a breakfast club as well. And one of his favorite sayings was, I can't believe anybody pays to go to a meeting at 7 a.m. Well, over the years, he began to get better, and I got a little smarter about bringing him to Rotary functions so he could meet people and see what a fun time we were having. And finally, it occurs to me, I'll get him engaged. I'll give him a job. So when I was chairing district conference, I said, I really need you to help me. And we were going to the homestead, so what's so hard about that? He said, yeah, he thought he could do that. So he came up, and he really actually was a lot of help. He was in the hall lining up people to come in the room while I was on the front stage getting things started. And finally, Mitzi Ellis is on stage, and everything's going great. And Ray came in and slipped down beside me, and it was great. And I thought, well, another thing you need to do is thank your volunteers. So I wrote a little note that says, thank you for all the things you're doing that I can't even see that you're doing. And I slipped that little note to him. And about a second and a half, that note came flying back to me, and I picked it up, and it said, you have no idea. So again, a little slow pickup on that. He wasn't getting enough reward for what he was doing. But finally, again, this year, very exciting. He had several years to go with me to all kinds of district governor training. And this year, the right person at the right time invited him to join Rotary, and he said yes. And I nearly fell on the floor when he said yes. Yay! Now hold your applause when I tell you that he joined a district in Australia. So I don't get any membership credit for it all this year. He's joined an E-Club, which he loves. And when he joined, in fact, they inducted him online. And I wasn't there when, so I called him and I said, well, you don't sound any different. And he says, yes, but I'm a much better man. So many lessons in Rotary membership when you think about Ray. You've got to ask someone before they join. I never asked Ray. You do need to get them engaged, and the whole club needs to be part of that process of welcoming visitors to the club. People need to feel welcomed by the group, and it is everyone's responsibility to be appreciative of their attendance. You bring them into your circle of friends, and this is a great circle of friends. This year, we're urging clubs to seek more women members. This is a part of our membership initiative. Currently, only 21% of our members in the district are women. So I see this as a tremendous opportunity to grow membership by maybe holding specific recruiting events for women. This is not a rah-rah woman moment. This is just, ooh, this makes sense. We've got a lot of women business and community leaders that would be honored to be asked to be in the Rotary family. So this year, let's celebrate some women in Rotary and grow our membership base. And of course, the other side of the membership growth is retention or engagement. And again, kudos to this club. I was so impressed to hear the 100% attendance figure. That is great, Bobby, great. Well, this leads me to Rotary International's second critical initiative this year, and that is for us to support the Rotary Foundation. Because of our district's reputation, we were chosen to participate in a pilot program, and we have demonstrated great results in this for the last 3 years. And our clubs this year applied for close to $100,000 in district grants, and that's not even including global grants. So indeed, we figured out how to apply for money and how to spend these district grant funds and global grant funds on worthy causes and projects. Now we ask members to focus on raising funds for our Rotary Foundation. Our Rotary Foundation is the source of these grant funds that we use both for global and district grants and many other programs. I firmly believe that the generosity in our district comes from the fact that most of our members understand and recognize the value and the worth our Rotary Foundation provides to people all over the world. Rated with a charity 4-star rating by the Charity Navigator, our Rotary Foundation enables Rotary to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace. Giving to our foundation is truly the way we can leave a legacy for our future generations. We all learn in Rotary 101 when we join. One of the main ways Rotarians stand out from other service organizations is through our international service and our foundation. This year's first-class club presidents have been requested to strive for 100% sustaining clubs and 100% Paul Harris Fellow clubs, and Gate City has this covered. You have maintained religiously your Triple Crown status, and I congratulate again all of your members on this wonderful feat. I assure you that the Rotary world knows about our accomplishments. It is our District 7690 members who earn that 100% Paul Harris recognition. And our members are the Rotarians who continue to be recognized as leaders in the Rotary world. Last year, our district members donated over $700,000 to the Rotary Foundation. One of our Rotary International's main life-changing projects is Polio Plus. And I hope that you all will still consider there's still time to sign up for our Sandler training event, which is coming soon. You know, perhaps have heard that this year at the International Convention in Lisbon, the Gates Foundation announced another program for us. The Gates Foundation will match $2 for every $1 raised by Rotary for Polio Plus. If fully realized, the value of this new partnership with Rotary is more than $500 million. Every dollar you donate to Polio Plus, the Gates Foundation will match $2. It's a great way to multiply your giving. We have a chance to leave a mark on history and change the world. Engage Rotary, change lives. I encourage Gate City Club to support this. And again, take a look at that Sandler Training Polio fundraiser. I know you've all heard the phrase Rotary happens in the club. This year we decided to try to put a little bit of a measurement process on that. We always have been able to tell how much money was going into our Rotary Foundation. We could see that. That's calculated at Rotary International, and we get reports on that. So last year, our clubs, the money that came from our Rotary district was just over $700,000. But we thought that's probably the tip of the iceberg. What's under the water? What are the clubs giving to their communities and other international projects? So our district governor nominee took on this project, and he contacted all the clubs, and he compiled that information for us. And we just recently released that. So we can now tell you what's under the water on this iceberg. Over $1 million just in our district. So $700,000 is the foundation giving. Under the waterline, over $1 million giving to our communities. And for a 51 club district, that is fantastic. Now we want to be sure we're getting that message out, so we're thinking public image. And our district public image committee, which is wonderful, they've obtained grants this year for our billboard advertising and done lots of information pieces for me. But they've come up with good press statements to let us be able to share with our community the work and worth that we are delivering with a very consistent and powerful message. And I think they've done a great job with that. I want to share just a little bit about a personal leadership message to give to you. I've had several people ask me, how do you get to be district governor? And I respond, I simply said yes, over a period of 17 years. First, you say yes at your club level, and then when district leaders ask you to work on a project or a committee, then you say yes again. I suggest that you take on fun tasks, help organize projects, help recruit others to join committees, and enjoy the fun and fellowship that comes with serving in Rotary. I never planned for 1 minute to be a district governor. I just kept saying yes. So that is my non-strategy for how you end up in one of the most rewarding volunteer positions I've ever had the privilege in serving in. And I am grateful for the opportunity to serve the clubs this year and be your resource. At the wonderful district officer installation banquet back in June, it was a lot of fun. We installed our leadership team and our assistant governors, and I got to sit up front, and I was with my family. And my granddaughters were very aware that I was going to get up and speak in front of the group. And my younger granddaughter, she's 14, and she thinks in a cheerleader sort of mode all of the time. So this is where she is right now. And she's looking around at the crowd, and she says, Grandma, were you popular in high school? And I said, well, oh yeah, I've got to admit, I was not a cheerleader. But I said, wait a minute. I'm looking around the room. I said, I am now. I'm a cheerleader for 51 clubs. I finally made it. So yeah, yes. So let me share my personal message about Rotary. Rotary is fun and fellowship. It is opportunities for leadership growth. And it is surrounding yourself with people of integrity, people who share your values and your ethics. And it has provided me with endless opportunities for participating in service to change the world. In other words, engage Rotary, change lives. As I wrap up, I want to share with you an aha moment I had a couple of months ago. I was traveling with a longtime friend, and we don't get to see each other that much, so a lot of the travel we're talking all the time, and what's new with you, and what's new with you. And when she asked me that, I said, oh, I'm going to get to be Rotary District Governor for 1 year for my district. I'm so excited about the opportunity. She says, oh yeah? What do you do as District Governor? And I thought, wow, what's my response? In just 1 second. I stood there just a minute, and it made me go back and think about my Girl Scout leader days. And I remember one time I was having a meeting, and my girls at the time were brownies. That's about 7 or 8 years old. They're the top cookie sellers. You recognize them on the street if you see them. But we were having a meeting, and I said, girls, next week we're not going to have a meeting because I need to go to Girl Scout training. So that's the message. Next week, no meeting. I have Girl Scout training. And the little girl to my left immediately looked up at me, and she said, training? We thought you knew everything. So I was feeling real good about that at the time, and then a little girl on my right looks up and says, no, she just told us she knew everything. So in response, what do I do as a district governor? I reply, my most important job is to be a resource to our clubs. I may not know everything, as my brownies so quickly found out about me, but I promise to do my best to be available to help with any challenges or opportunities that you have during the year this year. I am your biggest supporter. I am your most appreciative audience. And Rotary does happen in the clubs. And this is the year where we engage Rotary, change lives, and probably our own. Thank you.
Cookie, that was a great message. You're a great leader, a great cheerleader. And the Rotary gene in our club through your brother Dan, it's a really, really neat connection. On behalf of Gate City, I want to give you a donation to Donate Life North Carolina. A great cause. I heard your nephew speak last month, and it's an incredible story how he came through that. It really is.
Very thoughtful. Thank you.
And thank you. And if you would, please draw a winning raffle ticket. Don't forget the cart fund on your table.
Last three.
It's not Danny's. 699.